Good afternoon. My name is Jason and I am the Savvy Swede. I'll be doing the first of my YouTube videos and hopefully many more to come. Today is Monday, February 22nd, 2010, and this is our backyard. As you can see here, this is our pond. It's rather large, but believe it or not, it used to be about twice as long. It came out past that grass, and I ended up backfilling a lot of it in. I just didn't want something that was so big and overwhelming. I thought maybe that I could, build it bigger, and if I didn't like it, I just fill it in. So that's what we did. It's not totally complete. We need some more rocks, to go around the edges here to finish it off, to hide the rubber. But we do have the mosquito fish that the San Diego County recommends that we have in there, and they multiply like crazy. We have one fish in there from the pet store. We call him Green Bay. He's a plecostomus. He's supposed to eat all the algae, but looks like he has more than he can deal with. So anyways, back to the entire backyard. Here's our pergola. I built that out of redwood. It is 16 by 16 and 10 feet high. I wanted a really big one so we can get plenty of furniture underneath it, so we can have friends and family over there. Just recently I built this planter where I was trying to find ways to recycle materials. This planter is it's a raised bed, and believe it or not, I built it out of 2 pallets exactly. 2 pallets, and this is the only materials really I had left over from it, and it worked out great. Handful of screws, very few cuts. Took me about 2 hours to really design and build it, and majority of the part was trying to figure out exactly where I was going to make the cuts so I could do it as efficiently as possible. So it ended up working out. I have some more pallets that came with all the bricks that I've laid here. So the next one I do will probably only take me maybe 45 minutes or so. Now I know that what I'm doing. But this is a queen palm that we've had for a number of years. Transplanted it back and forth to different places. Never seemed to really take off until now. So, excuse me. Looks like we got it in the right spot. But if you notice that all the lattice that's up there, it's in like a redwood, channel framing, and I had to cut that out, a groove out, so I could keep that in there. Well, all the trimmings that I had left over were basically a bunch of long sticks, by an inch by an inch, 8 feet long. So I ended up building this trellis that goes basically the entire width of this part of the fence, and we planted some jasmine at the base of this. We've got a pepper tree that's growing that I really need to take out. We don't want that in there. But the jasmine's starting to take off really well, and we're just training it up the trellis. I talked to my neighbor, and he said he didn't have a problem with some of it hanging over, so we're okay there. Kaffir lilies. Love the kaffir lilies and the flowers. This one's been struggling, but as I look today, it's now just starting to produce some flowers out of it. And then earlier when I was back here, I noticed that I had a sucker popping up right there. So this one's starting to take off. Got a split leaf philodendron, a few of those. This one we stuck in the ground, and it's really been taking off. New growth. Seems like every time I turn around there's new growth. Giant bird of paradise. We've had that for a number of years and never looked this good. And we transplanted that. We keep it real thin. Don't want a bunch of unwanted critters down there at the base. So I try and keep it pretty thin, but it's now coming over the top of the pergola, so it's probably about 11 feet tall. Grapevine. Had a grapevine for a little while. Unfortunately, never put it in the ground, so it's been in a pot. Hopefully this thing's going to come back. It seems to always do. And my little pride and joy here is this. It's looking like a massive tree. It's a angel's trumpet, and when this thing flowers, man, the flowers are crazy. I've got pretty large hands, and take into contrast, you know, that's a pretty large flower. So we're getting a lot of blooms coming out of here. And that's probably, I don't know, 8 feet or so, the highest point. But I've chopped this thing back, and it seems to always keep coming back stronger. So, yeah, look at that, it's a great shot there. And I've heard stories of these things getting, you know, 15 feet tall and just, you know, just as wide. So what we do is we end up clipping it back, and I started taking some of the cuttings and making a little project. So I'll take them over to this pot here, take all the large leaves off of them, and leave some small leaves on there, just so it's not so much that, you know, the plant can't support it, but enough to get, you know, some sunlight. And then when I'm done with them there, I just recently this week just transplanted 2 of my little projects into some decorative pots here. So those were originally clippings. They were almost completely bare, and I left some leaves on there, and now they're really just taking off. Need to add a little bit of water in there, but they're doing real well. So I started this project. I bought 3 1-gallon red bananas, decorative, non-fruiting. But this one I just stuck in the ground a few months ago, and it's doing real well. And at the same time I bought that one in the 1-gallon pot, I bought 2 more. And these are the 2 more. There's one there, and there's one right there. Those used to be on the side of the house. We had a lot of rain, and soil got soft and some wind, and this one here got knocked out of the ground. So my son and I, we drug it over here, got to weigh a couple 100 pounds, full of water, and we transplanted it. And then while he was at school, I ended up transplanting this one, drug it over across the yard myself. And you know, they don't look too good right now, but they're starting to get a little growth, new growth out of the top of them, so it's looking okay. Now there's another banana, one of the suckers that came off the original 1 gallons, and it seems to be taking off okay. They say you can just take a shovel and splice them off the original and just transplant them, and I didn't really believe it. It seemed a little harsh, so I ended up kind of using some water and pressure spraying it, the roots, and getting some of the roots. So I did that, and then what happened is, the 3rd one that I did, I ended up breaking off the root, really, so there wasn't much root left of it, and I stuck it in the ground, and this is what happened. The leaves all fell off of it, unlike the others, you know, over here. But what's funny is, I looked back here a couple weeks ago, and right out of the top of it, I've got some new growth coming right out. So it will work if you just break them off with a shovel. I like power spraying it, and you know, so the leaves will pretty much stay on there. It ended up working out a little bit better. So I've got a mango tree. It's doing okay. It's got some new growth going out of the top of it. I probably should take a little bit better care of it, but it's doing okay. So we had a bunch of extra soil left over from the pond, digging out the pond, and so I had the guy with the tractor just build me a nice big mound here, and then we came through here with the shovels and leveled it out and put this nice little retaining wall here. It's a little decorative. Add some curves to the otherwise square backyard. But I ended up with some dwarf citrus. This is a blood orange, and no fruit left, or no fruit last year on it. There's a Mexican lime. Got some flowers come off of it. So hopefully those flowers, I don't know, turn into maybe some limes. Be good on some fresh fish. And the one that's produced the most fruit for us in the backyard so far is this weeping mulberry. And I guess they just, you know, graft it to make it weep like this. But I had some suckers come out of it, and let them come out and kind of bent them over with string and some bricks. Try to drape them back over.